Let's continue on with our discussion of dictionaries, particularly how do we work with dictionaries? What else can we do with them? And I've added 4 things I want to try to do with dictionaries here. So, this is our initial talk about dictionaries when we were talking about how to initialize a dictionary, what a dictionary was, key value pairs, having dictionaries and lists and dictionaries and dictionaries and dictionaries, and all those sort of combinations. But what if we wanted to add information to a dictionary that already existed? Let me go back and simplify some of these things. So we have our data dictionary here that has classes and it has a list inside of it. Let's say I wanted to add more information to data. To do that, we're just going to say data and then we're going to enter a key that we want to add to it. Let's say we want to add name. We're maybe making information about a student. All we have to do is say data name equals and then give it a value. And then when I print my dictionary, and particularly, let's go ahead and look at name. You can see that we get out Rob. So you can add information to a dictionary by simply giving it a key, putting it in the square brackets, just like if we were trying to retrieve that information, and then setting it equal to something. The same is actually true if we want to change something. If I then want to change the name in my data dictionary, I'm going to do the exact same thing. I'm going to go ahead and get access to that value, and I'm going to set it again. This time I'm going to set it to Jeff. And you'll notice we make it with Rob, and we set it to Jeff. So changing and adding new information is pretty much exactly the same syntax. And it doesn't even matter if we know whether the information was there to begin with. We don't need name to exist to change it, because if we're changing something that doesn't exist, we're simply adding it. So that's how you add and change information inside of a dictionary. What about deleting information inside of a dictionary? Well, this can get tricky. So let's say, for instance, I wanted to delete classes out of my dictionary. What I would actually use is del data, and I would pass it classes. And then if I try to, down here, print data dot get classes, we want to confirm that it is in fact gone. And you'll notice we get none back, whereas if we had printed this before our delete statement, so I'm going to command copy that and just put it up here to show that it was there. We called our delete and then it was gone. Oh, actually, it doesn't matter because I spelled it wrong. There we go. It's there. We call our delete function and then it's gone. The problem with the delete, much like out or retrieve information, is that if we try to delete something that is not there, for instance, if I had misspelled this with the extra S, we're going to get an error. So with delete, it's really important that we use our error handling methods and do a try and except block. So here we will try to delete this. If this fails, we can do an except block and say basically if that's not there, if that deletion fails, go and print no such key in the dictionary. This way now, if we try to, I should spell such correctly. If we try to delete something that's not actually in our dictionary, we'll simply get that message, no such key in our dictionary. And I deleted something that was in our dictionary, so now I'll delete something that's not in our dictionary, and we get that no such key in our dictionary. So that works. Great. So it's important to remember that deleting, much like the retrieving information, can fault to that error. That's why we have that nifty get message that sort of takes care of the error for us. But in this case, we don't have that for delete, so we have to use this del data. So we're deleting that, and then we have to put it inside of our try except block. Now, I told you in our last discussion of videos that in our last discussion of dictionaries, that dictionaries are unordered. And while that's logically true, meaning there's no real logic to the ordering of them, they're not 1, 2, 3. Python, since version 3.7, has actually maintained an order for their dictionaries. So that's sort of important to know, that as information is entered, it will come out in sort of an ordered way. And that goes towards the looping of dictionaries that we can do. We can actually iterate over a dictionary. We have 3 ways of doing this. We can iterate over a dictionary by its keys, we can iterate over a dictionary by its values, and we can iterate over a dictionary by both. So let's go ahead and see that in person. First of all, I'm going to make a new dictionary for myself. I'm going to make a dictionary that does not have a list inside of it, so maybe we do class is math, grade is 98, period is third period, or something along those lines, right? So now we have information about, let's say, a class that a student is taking. Get rid of that. We'll go ahead and add and change the information about that student's name. We'll try deleting classes, which now no longer exists in our dictionary. But now let's try looping through our dictionary. So now we have a dictionary. We're going to say for key in data dot keys. This will loop us over all of the key values in our dictionary. So let's go ahead and just print out what those key values are. And I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that. Those 2 print statements. We'll just do the loop for now, and you'll see our keys right now in our dictionary are class, grade, period, name. That's all true, right? If you look at our key value pairings, class is a key, grade is a key, period is a key, and then later on when we add and change the information, name is also a key. We can do the same thing for values. For value in data dot values. And you'll see now we get class, grade, period, name, math, 98, third, and Jeff. Value, 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 and then changed value to Jeff. That's why we're getting Jeff and not Rob. We're even getting the space before third, which probably shouldn't be there. Okay, so you can see that we're printing out first the keys of our dictionary and then the values of our dictionary. And I want to point out a few things about these constructions here. This is just a membership loop, a for in membership loop. Key, this word does not matter. We could call this anything. We could call this pizza. And then in here, we would have to change it to pizza. This essentially being a local scope variable that we're defining when we run the function. And changing that word does not change how our function runs, as you can see here. All it changes is what this word is. The key component to this particular loop is this here, because data.keys is essentially a list of keys. Data.values is a method that returns a list of values. So in this case, we're just saying for every pizza, or more appropriately, for every key, in the dictionary data's list of keys, go ahead and run this loop. For every value in the dictionary data's values, go ahead and run this loop. Last but not least, we can actually do this for something called items. For item in data.items, print item dot, I think we can get the key and the value from the item. Well, let's just print the item and let's see what it looks like. And you'll see we get these tuple pairings. We get class math, grade 98, name Jeff. If we wanted to separate these out, we could actually write our for statement like this, and then print key. Let's go ahead and do it as an F string so we can kind of format it a little bit. And do key, colon, value. And now let's look at what this looks like. And there you see class colon math, grade colon 898, period colon third, name colon Jeff. And in this key value way of doing this, this is actually called a tuple. In this tuple way, we're pulling out the two pieces of information about each item in our dictionary, and then we're printing them out. Key associated with the key value, and value associated with the value of the dictionary at that key. We don't have to use the words key and value. We could just as easily use pizza and Coca-Cola here, or whatever words you want to use. It's just traditional to use key value because that's what we're talking about. We're talking about the key in a dictionary and the value in a dictionary. So that is how we add information to a dictionary, change information in a dictionary, delete information from a dictionary, paying attention to the fact that it may produce an error, and finally loop through a dictionary in 3 different ways: looping through just its keys, looping through its values, or looping through all the items in the dictionary and getting both its key and its value.